to Holt Arena, the home of Idaho State University Athletics. I'm Jerry Miller, along with Idaho State University Athletic Director Pauline Thiros, and we're here to talk about a recent fundraising campaign that, Pauline, you kicked off, I believe, near the 1st of December. It's the Champions Fund. And first of all, just tell us about the idea and how you came up with it and what you want to do with that.
Well, sure. You know, in my first year serving in the department, there were so many requests. Coaches and teams need so many things. Some of them are large, some of them are small, but just to help them be competitive. Anything from coming up with some funding so that our women's basketball team could accept the invitation to go to the WNIT, or our volleyball team to the NIVC. They're both postseason tournaments, or funding to help us put in a bid for an FCS football game here at Holt Arena. Those are all things that aren't typically inside the budget, but they help us get to postseason play. They help us to be competitive. And so we thought of the Champions Fund as a place where donors could contribute some funds that would be unrestricted to a specific sport, but are there for the purpose of the student-athlete experience and of helping our teams to do the small things that come up from time to time that make us more competitive, that help us take advantage of opportunities.
If I'm correct, the idea was for the drive to go for 60 days?
The drive was to go for 60 days, basically December and January. We kicked it off at the end of the first week of December.
Right.
And within a few days of Christmas passing us by, we had blown past the $50,000 goal. And those funds are all going to be matched by Joe Saratori, who's been generous. And so we're well over $100,000 in that fund to kick off its long life, I hope.
Did Joe step up after you announced the Champions Fund, or was it kind of a cooperative effort?
Well, Joe came and visited us this fall and had a great experience on campus, and just was excited about the things that are happening and the way that Bengal Athletics is feeling and the way the community is responding. And he wanted to do something, but he didn't have anything specific in mind. He said, you know what, I trust you all to do what's best for our program and our students. If I make a gift, what should we do? And so this is the idea that we came up with, and I'm so grateful for the way Bengals have responded.
So you've blown past the $50,000 match goal. How much total have you brought in outside of the match?
Well, there's about $60,000 in gifts that came in, and those will be matched. And I'm continuing to get checks and emails and calls daily for people who are encouraged to participate. So I think it's a great step forward, and it gives us an opportunity when a coach comes in and says, hey, if we could just make this improvement, or we could attend this tournament or this competition, it would make a big difference for our program. We're going to be able to say yes.
I assume because of marketing, some people have just come and made a donation on their own, but and I also assume you've approached people about making donations as well. What has been the response from people when you talk to them about this?
You know, at this point, I can't say as I've had a no. I would say, and I wouldn't classify it as a no, I've had somebody who was excited about it but really had a passionate place for a certain program or a certain project that they specifically wanted to give to. But, you know, our constituents have been so generous, and they've stepped up to the plate just with a real joy for giving and a real enthusiasm about where we're going, and just a great optimism about what's to come next for Bengal Athletics, and they're helping us get there.
So does the Champions Fund Drive officially end at the end of January?
You know, the fund's going to be a permanent fund. It will end this drive at the end of January. I feel like we've declared victory, hitting that match. And we're going to continue to come up with opportunities to make gifts to that fund, possibly to be matched again in the future, and we'll keep building it. But it seems to caught the eye of our fan base, and it's just great to feel that support from our community, which I've always said it's there, and it is. It's real. So I can't thank our constituents and donors enough for the way they've jumped on board.
I have no doubt that you're going to continue to think bigger.
Oh, absolutely. We've got places to go.
Pauline, congratulations.
Thanks, Jerry.
You bet.
Appreciate it.